it is a challenging arena, no doubt, the power game in the high seas. And India must realize the changing dynamics. Strategic influence and trade supremacy, these battles will now be fought on the Indian Ocean. The question is simple. Is India ready for the final frontier? How does India compare with other countries, especially China? As always, numbers give perspective. According to the Global Firepower Index, the US tops the list, followed by Russia, China and India. But on the high seas, China's navy is clearly the leader. You can check any metric: total naval assets, submarines, frigates, destroyers, patrol craft, mine warfare craft, and the presence of ports and terminals. China is ahead of the US and far, far ahead of India. China's maritime power has multiplied in the last decade. India is clearly playing catch-up. China's naval ambitions have two aspects. One, the careful and gradual build-up to dominate East China Sea as well as the South China Sea. And two, and this concerns India, Beijing wants more access to the Indian Ocean. Let me tell you about two incidents in the last 2 years to establish this point. January 2017, a Chinese attack submarine which was returning from anti-piracy patrols in the Indian Ocean stopped at a Malaysian port. This was an unprecedented stopover and public display of China's undersea force. The second incident happened last year, 2018. A Chinese nuclear-powered attack submarine was detected in the Senkaku Islands in East China Sea. This was an unannounced maneuver by China. The islands are disputed and China left this area only after Japan protested. This power play will become more intense going forward. China has trade interests and territorial interests, and it will not back down. It is buying access to crucial ports through big-ticket infrastructure loans, and in future, these ports could host China's military installations. The pattern is obvious, and that brings us to India. India's navy is by no means inferior, but it's not enough to be on the back foot and play catch-up. It's time to match up with China, and the government only knows this too well. There are 32 ships and submarines that are under construction right now. The government of India has also approved the construction of another 56 warships and 6 submarines as part of its 10-year plan. Some of these plans are already at an advanced stage. There is a $12 billion initiative called Project 75I to acquire advanced submarines. It's not just acquisition. India has also domestically built a nuclear-powered missile submarine, the INS Arihant. The submarine has already completed its first deterrence patrol and will enable India to fire nuclear weapons across all routes, sea, air and land. India has to boost its maritime power to counter China. It is making the right moves. India is strengthening ties with countries in the Indian Ocean region, like the Maldives and Sri Lanka. India is engaging with strategic coalitions, such as the Quad, the 4-nation bloc of India, Japan, Australia and America, to counter China's maritime expansion. In fact, today, India's Navy Chief Admiral Karambir Singh highlighted the Navy's success in curbing piracy and reiterated the commitment to force modernization of the Indian Navy. Not just that, he also acknowledged the rise of China's influence in the Indian Ocean, but he expressed confidence in India's ability to meet any challenge on coastal security. The comments signify India's emphasis on naval supremacy in the Indian Ocean. I will conclude with one important number to underscore the significance of the Indian Ocean. About 40% of India's trade happens with the littoral countries along the Indian Ocean rim. 40%. For maritime trade as well as security, the Indian Ocean region is the biggest game. India needs to put all its energy in persevering the advantages in the ocean and find new gains. Without an iota of doubt, the sea is the next frontier. There are plenty of challenges, but there are truckloads of opportunities too for New Delhi.